Welcome back to another episode of Lady Justice Talks, where curiosity meets law. Today I have two beautiful ladies from our executive team. I have Hiba and Sephrah. And our topic today, as we approach Black History Month, is about the Black heroes. And these are two heroines that we have in WILA. How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm excited for this
Happy to
episode.
be here.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
The
we
best
should
month of
really
the
say.
year.
Literally,
Yeah,
literally.
the best month of the year. I do stuff.
So before we begin, let's talk more about your roles in WILA. Maybe Hiba can take that first.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm the co-vice president of admin for WILA. I've been in the position since it started, so nothing crazy.
You ate
to be
that.
honest. some late, you know.
She's the original, guys.
Don't make my head big. We just started that episode, guys. But that's what I do.
That's perfect then. And for Sephrah?
Yes, I'm the graphic designer, so everything marketing related, Instagram posts, this banner over here.
She actually
Yes.
made it, y'all.
Yes, that's
She made it. She made
yeah,
it.
and I kind of do graphic design for WILA, and I've been in the position, I don't know, since it started?
Basically,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
We basically all
basically,
have been in the
yeah.
position since
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
started. I don't know, Hiba just wanted to...
Hiba's,
I just wanted to
yeah.
add the
to
little
feel it.
touch. Just wanted
As
to
she
be there.
should, as she should.
Some light.
So I guess we'll just go right into it. And I'd like to ask you, what inspired you to pursue a career in law, and if your identity had something to do with it?
Yeah, for sure. So I can start. I decided that I want to study law in grade 11. I realized I really didn't have much to do, to be quite frank, and STEM is not my bag. No, I'm not a STEM girl. Sorry.
No, don't say sorry. That's valid.
Yeah.
Good job for all the women in STEM.
Yeah,
though.
shout out to the women in STEM. You guys
Shout
are,
out, because
y'all-
it's like, wow.
y'all better than me. 100%. And I know I like to write, so I was like, oh, law could be something I like that would be really interesting. And I always found it like a very interesting field because it was very complex and it's always something that's moving, right? So for me, I knew that it was something I wanted to do. I took a chance. I decided to apply here and see what it gave, see if it was gonna work out for me. And it did, and I'm really happy I chose it. Honestly, there wasn't too much I feel like that went into it for my choice. I knew that I wanted to make a difference, and I felt like law was going to give me the chance to do that, depending on the career path that I decided to take. And I guess my identity played a role because for me, I was black, I'm Muslim, and I'm a woman. There's not a lot of representation in the field, so I definitely wanted to be kind of like a beacon of hope for people that were interested in it. And for me, I felt like I could definitely be somebody that could fill the shoes for those that maybe like are scared to kind of speak up. And here I am, still thugging it out, and it's been going well.
I think
so happy.
It's lovely the fact that like you mentioned like your two options really were like STEM or law, which are like two competitive fields.
Yeah.
And I love that because I feel that's really like what the representation really matters about. I'm not saying like, oh, all black women are supposed to just go into the competitive fields. No, go to whatever you would love, but also do not feel like you cannot be in something just because, oh, it's too competitive, or like my identity, I have like a lot of intersections. Do you feel the same, Sephrah?
Yeah, basically, yeah. For me, I kind of wanted to go into law because similar reasons, like STEM is not for me. Math can't even do. Basic math can't even do. But
So embarrassing, I'm
yeah,
a baby.
it's actually embarrassing.
The
but
FBI
it's-
wouldn't beat that out of me. I would just lie about it. I'd be like, oh, I'm actually really good at math, but...
it's not my thing. But also, like, I feel like from a young age, I've kind of had a passion for like justice, and I feel like law is like a very powerful tool that can bring that like in society. And that's kind of my reason for going into law. As well as my identity, like being a part of a marginalized community, like seeing like the injustices that people go through. Police brutality like for one, in the States as well as Canada is a really big thing, and I feel like law is an important tool to navigate that. And it's just like it's really upsetting seeing it, so it's kind of stemmed like my passion for going into law, and I just hope to like make a difference one day in the world, whether that be through human rights law, immigration law, anything. I feel like there's a lot of areas that need help, and law can help in that.
Agreed.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. I think like I'm glad that you mentioned like police as well and like the different areas of law, because I remember I was just telling you this, that like I was kind of like interested in policing, but I was always thinking like, oh, everyone will think that I'm a bad person or whatever. But no, when people like me and you just join forces like this and actually want to like be
Make a
the good,
difference. Yeah.
make a difference, the good cop, the good representation.
There's good and bad.
Yeah, because if all the
Absolutely.
good people are like, oh, I don't want to be in a bad system, all respect to like all like police systems and everything, but at the
Right.
same time we also like have seen like a lot of like representations and examples that we're in like something to be proud of. But if all of these people just step back, well, who's left to like actually apply?
Exactly.
Right.
That's why it's like just important to have conversations. Like people like
Yeah.
to stay away from conversations and sometimes feel offended when you talk about it, but
Absolutely.
you kind of have to, because how
Yeah.
are you going to change systems if
Yeah.
like you're just keeping the same pattern going?
Yeah. One thing I also realized, like as you were talking, like when you said join forces, a really big issue we have in marginalized communities is that we don't work together. Like
Yeah.
I wonder like how much more powerful we could be if we actually locked in and we're serious about being together, because the amount of change that actually can be made is so insane that people don't realize it really just takes one conversation to open up like a plethora of discussion.
Yeah.
Right. So I think realizing that our intersections are actually what make us better, and shouldn't be the only thing that make us like distinct, is super important as well.
Yeah, I remember I think in high school one teacher was talking about how there's oppression within oppressed groups, and I think that's like totally, like I totally agree, like even about skin color, like, oh, you're already like a marginalized like group
Like colorism.
for a color,
Yeah.
but sometimes like, oh, like how light you are or how dark you are, this could also impact like how you're treated. And I think that's crazy, like that, like even within my marginalized groups I could be like oppressed. Like no, like I need this to be like my safe space so we could actually, you know, implement strategies to actually be out there instead.
Right. Yeah.
So I totally agree. And I know you were saying you were inspired since like childhood, really. So I was
Yeah.
wondering if there's like any black figures that kind of like inspired you to actually like get into law, or like to really be inspired by justice.
Yeah. Well, obviously everyone knows of like Martin Luther King Jr. I feel like he's very inspirational.
Right.
His activism, what he has done, like growing up, like in school, like I've seen videos like that, and I'm like, I want to be like that. Like the activism is very important. Having someone that vocal in a community is very important, as well as like Jean Augustine, who's very important to Canada as she assisted in like kind of bringing Black History Month. I think she's also very inspirational. Like people like that, it's just inspiring to see them like knowing the barriers that they have. They're able to overcome those barriers and make a difference in their own community and inspire others to do the same. So those are people who are kind of just inspiring to me, and I hope to kind of be like them one day.
Yeah. Yeah, you will. Like I don't
It's
hope.
gonna
I'm
happen.
sure.
Yeah. Speak on it.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
still
we're
on
manifesting.
it.
Yeah. No, but like I really like how you said like, oh, you would see this like in schools and be like, oh, like I want to be like this person, because that's when it comes to like this whole like thing about like the debate really about education.
Yeah,
And like
not
yeah, like,
including
I
some
don't-
of those things.
yeah, the reason why like I know things is because I took a course in university. It's African American literature, so obviously we had to learn about like a lot of figures, but I shouldn't just take a specific course for African Americans or indigenous studies or whatever to actually know about these things.
Agreed.
Instead, I should just
You should
have
hear
it.
about
Yeah.
'Cause
Like I
feel
should
Curriculum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I
Yeah.
feel like
be
because
there.
like even like as like a Black individual from young, like you're taught certain things. Like you have to like mature at a really young age because you see the world, you see how it affects marginalized communities. So I feel like other people should also be educated in the same way that you have to be educated at such a young age.
Right.
I feel like it's important.
Agreed.
Yeah. How about you? Did you also have like a specific Black figure, or maybe not? Like it's fine if you did not, and sometimes it's just not even have a figure. You could just
Right.
like, you know, happen out of nowhere. So
Yeah. in my case, I don't have a figure off the top of my head, I would say. But I would say my biggest heroes are probably my family, like my parents. They definitely push me to be better, and to do and go after basically what I want. So for me, once I decided like I wanted to do law, and they were very supportive. So I feel like that was enough for me to say that they were my heroes, even if they weren't in the legal field or not.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think like my mom is just like my figure in everything that I just
Right.
like I don't even try to think about, which is very valid, I think, because sometimes you just need like the figure to be someone close to you.
Right.
Because like I'm a psych major, so like
Analysis.
no, that's the thing. I like to know like my figure to be someone close to me so that I can relate not only to their like their story, because that's usually what you see, like someone who's like really successful, you just relate to their story, but like also relate to their emotions. Like I've seen my mom and I've seen like how she works hard and everything, and also like her emotions while she does that. So I think that's like the thing that like the missing piece that I kind of need when I'm like thinking about like a figure,
Right.
because I never know like people's stories,
Yeah,
like
of course.
full on,
Yeah.
unless
Unless
someone
they tell
is,
you
like,
or you
really
see it
close
online.
to me that like
Yeah.
I'm just like seeing.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, I think that's the difference really.
Okay, cool.
Bro said, okay, whatever, let's move
No,
on.
no, I'm just-
Yeah, anyways.
I'm just like agreeing with you.
But-
Host trying to make me look bad. It's
She said stop
crazy.
yapping.
Literally,
So
should
that was,
not
Okay,
be-
you're the
that
guest
was
after
a
all.
really good answer, though.
That was a really good
That was a really
answer.
good answer. I agree with
Thank
that.
you,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
I'm just
Stop.
blushing now. For the
talk to
people
him.
listening on Spotify,
Yeah.
I'm blushing right now.
Told you Black History is Beth Month. I told y'all.
But yeah, do you think there are steps, or what are the steps? Okay, like you better think that there are steps. I'm asserting dominance
She
here.
is asserting dominance, y'all. She said you better.
You better think.
Sorry.
There are any steps in the legal profession or law schools or even legal institutions that could make law more inclusive?
Sure. You know.
I would say, wait, in like legal spaces in general?
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically.
I
And
would
law. Yeah.
law. I would say it's very important to take into consideration diverse perspectives. I feel like when having conversations with everyone, it's important to have everybody at the table. If you're speaking about like a marginalized community and there's one person from that marginalized community who's not in the conversation, then how can you bring about change if you don't have their perspective?
Right.
That's one thing that I would say. Diverse perspectives. I think mentorship through like, as me as a pre-law student, I think it's important to have like a space for students who also are going to the same field as me and who also have that same identity as me. So spaces like that. That's what I would say.
Yeah. My answers was really similar. I think one thing I would say probably that was different. I would say we need better restorative justice practices. Like I feel like we don't have enough spaces that help people who maybe are incarcerated or who face criminal charges. If they're in the process of trying to get out or like have their charges dropped, whatever, there's not enough spaces where they can fully reintegrate back to society. Especially being like Black, it's much harder to do that. I'd also say mentorship is really important. Being Black and not having as much mentorship makes it a lot difficult because our experiences are much different. So having somebody to connect to, I think, is super important as well. And ensuring that, I would say, legal institutions touch on youth, having those programs or having spaces where they can come, ask questions, speak to people who are in the field or have been in it a long time is super important as well, because there's that gap that really needs to be bridged. Because at the end of the day, we're going to be the people that are going to be left, right? So it's are left to lead in those cases. So I think it's important to focus on them and try to make them the best that we can, so that when it's time for them to step up and be serious, they can, right? So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I totally agree. I
That was a
think
good answer.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Wayne.
I think it could be like as simple as even like the dress code, because I feel like there's a lot of like things about like, for example, professional hair.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's a
yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
or like the dress code, or like just like having like a hijab at work. Even
Yeah.
like, well, in Canada, I'm grateful like it's not like that, or I hope it's not like in most institutions, or at least they're pretending like it's not. But something
Yeah.
as like your identity being unprofessional just because you know, I have curly hair, or I have this type of hair, just does not sit right with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, unfortunately, like Montreal still hasn't like accepted that because public servants are still banned from wearing religious symbols.
Really?
Yeah, so I can't wear a
Wow.
hijab if I lived in Montreal and I was working in law. I can't wear one. I'm not allowed.
That's
So
That's
it's like,
literally insane.
yeah, it's very,
How does it affect your ability to do
Yeah.
work though? That doesn't make sense.
it's a bit bad in 2024. Yeah, but anyhow,
2024? What?
Yeah, I remember I remember like a law about that, but I thought it was only for like education figures. Like
It's public
teachers.
servants.
Public servants.
public
Okay.
servants in general.
Never
So if
mind.
I was working in court, like if I was a clerk or I was like a typewriter, something like that, and I wore religious symbol, I wouldn't be allowed to.
That's actually
Which is
insane.
yeah, it's
That's
insane.
really sad.
It's just so sad. So yeah, definitely touches on a lot of intersections, I would say as well. But it's a very sad reality we're living in, unfortunately.
Because I would, like, my next question was literally if you can share any challenges that you have seen in the legal field or workplace related to your identity as a black woman.
Sure.
And I think that's you're already like
That's a challenge.
talked
for
about
it's
sure.
one,
huge.
like
Yeah.
yeah, but you can
Literally.
go ahead and add more.
Yeah, for sure. So being black, being Muslim, and being a woman is tough.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that look like me, unfortunately. But to me, that doesn't stop me from trying to be the best that I can be and trying to step up. I would say my identity definitely poses a big difference. There's not a lot of people with me at the table, right? So I have to be the person that kind of speaks up for all of us in that sense. So sometimes it can be challenging. Don't get me wrong, but I try not to look at the negatives just because it's just gonna, I feel like, make it more sad.
Right.
And I feel like it can stop you from actually reaching your full potential. So trying to create spaces that are much more inclusive to Black Muslim women would also be ideal. And like I said before, like trying to be the beacon of change for that would be ideal, right? So that's
Yeah.
kind of my goal right now.
To be honest, I feel like you just made me like, like had like this light bulb, because I thought about something that like it's a whole other challenge that it's only you at the table that speaks up for yourself. So it kind of like adds to the expectations.
Yeah.
Like it's more like, oh, this person needs to prove themselves. Like
So
like,
much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like
insane.
you're the only person who looks like you, as you worded it.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I'm kind of representing Black Muslim women, and it
Yeah.
just becomes like this barrier
Yeah.
that like, oh, I need to prove to people that Black Muslim women are actually smart. Black Muslim women are actually capable.
Yeah,
And
that they're
that's-
valued.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and that's just a lot.
It's insane.
How about you, Sephrah?
I guess for me, like right now, like I haven't faced like specific challenges in the legal field, but I feel like there are expected challenges in the future. Kind of like what she was saying with like she has a hijab, and like it's like a challenge in like Montreal with their laws. I guess for me, like my hair for my whole life has been like a part of me, and like it's been like really hard to like overcome. Like finding myself and liking my hair with the way that society views Black women in their hair. And what you said earlier about the professional field, like, oh, your hair has to be a certain way to be in this profession. It's like been like at a young age, like seeing stuff like that has been really hard to like overcome. And like I had to like challenge myself and step outside like that box that society has and expectations for Black women. And like now I've found myself, and I'm like, I can wear my hair in whatever way that I
Talk to
want, lock my hair if I want.
Talk
Like
to
I
me.
don't think
And
it
it's- and
it,
it's
it impacts.
yeah.
I don't think
It's
it
still
impacts my
professional.
ability.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
personally, yeah.
I'm doing the work. Why should my hair be like a distraction? Like it doesn't impact my ability to perform well.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's definitely like an expected challenge for
Yeah.
like the future, and an unfortunate reality for a lot of Black women.
Agreed.
Yeah, we actually have another episode about elegance in law, and like we touched upon that. We talked about like how because curly does not equal messy.
Exactly.
Sorry, like
I'm not about
no,
to straighten my
like,
hair
Speak
every
on it,
morning.
man.
just like, and there are
Yeah,
people.
you can do it, but it's like it's not
It's not that
expected of
serious.
Yeah,
you. Like, you
there
don't have
are
to.
people who have their hair and it's just like messy. They just don't know how to take care of their
Maintain it.
their
Yeah.
hair,
Agreed. It's
a
whether that was
journey.
curly or straight.
Real.
Yeah.
And
Mine
yeah,
too, queen.
you should definitely like go check out this episode because it will help you. Emma talked a lot about hair routine as well. But
Oh.
it's
Love.
amazing.
I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Emma, man.
Yeah,
Nice
but,
hair in that.
but in general, that does not mean that like you just generalize that like curly hair is usually the messy hair. Like no,
Yeah.
sorry, I don't need to like always have my hair in a bun for you to think I'm professional.
Professional.
Yeah,
agreed.
Right?
I get
Yeah.
headaches.
Also, buns are hurt, and sometimes
That's
they're
exactly what I was
not
talking
that
about.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all.
So
Just had to like.
You have to say it.
Sometimes
to say
buns
it.
look
It doesn't-
rough, man.
See?
Sometimes, yo,
yeah,
Like wear your hair how you want.
Yeah.
Like
It's
just
just
don't
hair.
worry about
and
it.
that's the
Like
thing. It's also specifically for women too, because like obviously black men would also need to deal with like this idea that like what is professional hair, and if you
Yeah.
have dreads or not, like
Yeah.
would that like count as professional hair or not?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But also being a woman, like obviously I have more hair.
Yeah.
Like you, like that's just a stereotype, but like usually, like I
Longer
like,
hair.
have
Yeah.
longer hair.
Yeah.
I understand.
So maybe that's just like even like another layer to it. Like I will need to do more than just like, you know, a black man who could, I don't know, even shave it if
If they
he
really
wants
wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. But maybe we can talk a little bit about advice you would give black women in a competitive field like law, since we kind of covered some things about like the institutions that could do better.
Right.
So how about like actual other people or women who look like you?
Ooh, that's a good question. I have to sit on it for real.
Brainstorm.
Earlier
Yeah,
you said-
literally.
Earlier you said be better.
I was like, be better. I don't know if that caught in the bloopers, but I literally yelled. I was like, be better. I'm just kidding. It's terrible advice, y'all. Oh, I think in terms of advice, I'd say don't be scared to like voice what you feel. Don't do it obviously in like a rude or like a derogatory manner, but I would say just like be serious. Stand on what you say, right? Like don't backtrack, and if you're gonna stand on something, be firm about it, and don't backtrack just for others' sake.
Yeah.
Right? Like don't don't say something at the expense of others, or don't hide your voice at the expense of others, because you still need to be at the table too, right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
that would just
That's
be my
like
advice.
the code of the day. You need to be at the table too.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah, yeah. I love that.
That was really good. I don't even know what I want to say now.
Oh no, there's so much you can say.
I would probably say, like, because the field is like really competitive. Just be confident. Be confident in yourself. Like, know yourself. Know you know where you want to go. You're gonna reach there. Like, don't compare yourself to others. I feel like there are a lot of people with privileged backgrounds, but it's okay. Like, everyone's journey is different. I would say just be confident. Like, as a black woman going through society, going through spaces, just be confident in yourself and know that you will get to where you want eventually.
It's a marathon, not a race.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a-
So beautiful. What's with the quotations
She's
today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, and before we wrap up, I also know that you're involved in, specifically for your Q students, you're also involved in Black Excellence.
Yeah,
You're-
that's-
maybe
yeah,
you
that's
can
correct.
Talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that, since you know, that's something that could also, like, I think that's an advice in itself, like to
Yeah.
reach out to specific groups that
Yeah.
could help you, because although like we are from like marginalized groups, at least we are privileged enough to like have access to education and
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
access to, because when you mention like people like come out of jail, like I would assume these people did not even have like, you know, the privilege to have access to clubs
Yeah.
like we do. So maybe
Yeah.
that would be a good advice for your Q students.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm part of a program called Black Excellence at York University. Black Excellence at York University. Basically, what we do is we provide services to students transitioning into university. So we do that through leadership workshops, mentorship. We have community and cultural events. I think one of the events I actually really loved, we had like a hair event focused on black hair. It was so cool.
What? I missed out.
I know. Be better. No, I'm just kidding. Wait, I'm just kidding. We actually had a beauty supply store come in too. They gave us stuff
What?
saying,
Wow.
get into the club.
Gosh.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I've been doing it for almost 2 years now, I would say. And it's a really cool experience, definitely, to see different black students kind of come in, you know, help them prepare them for their journey for university, because it's not easy. It's very
Yeah.
tough, especially for individuals maybe who are first generation. I can't imagine the struggles that, you know, they've been through. So we're definitely here as a form of support. So if anybody's incoming university and is black and accepted their offer, join Black Excellence York University. It's BU for short, by the way.
BE.
So,
Wait, what's the Instagram? BE.
Black
right?
Excellence York U.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
That's so
now
cool.
you have 2 clubs that you can join
Oh yeah,
WILA,
woman in law.
right
Yeah.
here, and
Join Black Excellence.
BU.
B-
Join BU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join BU.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Is there anything else you guys would like to add? And, you know, like maybe last words. I know Hiba probably has like one more quotation in there.
Bye.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month. Happy BHM.
I just wanted to say that.
I love it. Yeah. What's my last quote? Black History Month is the best month, y'all.
It is.
Yeah, it's top tier month. February's
Yeah.
also my birthday month, so it's the best month.
Oh my, I
It's
didn't
the
even
best
know.
telling y'all.
Oh my gosh.
Basically born at the best time of the year.
Basically,
Just
happy
Yeah.
birthday already for you.
saying. Happy birthday, happy Black History
Yeah,
Month, happy
happy Black History
everything.
Month.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't have much to add. You? Besides that?
That's all. Happy Black History Month. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Happy Black History Month.
And
Black
that's,
History
I think that's
Month.
beautiful because, you know, sometimes people forget about, like, the happiness
Yes,
in
I'm
it.
saying,
Like,
yeah.
sometimes people make it, like, a little bit too, like, you know, like, tragic. Like, obviously we need
Yeah.
to remember
It's
these-
important, but
we need to remember these, like, you know, challenges, but
Yeah.
we also gotta know what we accomplished.
Yeah.
have
for
a
sure.
balance. Yeah.
Yeah,
Balance
so,
is key.
and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, with
That's it.
that being said, thank you guys for listening to our podcast. And just a reminder that this podcast is brought to you by the sponsorship of Sam McDaddy, Real Estate Brokerage. Sam is the real estate leader in the GTA and one of the top realtors in the country. He spent many years with Remax, where he achieved the first team in Mississauga during his entire tenure. Was top 5 Remax team in Canada for a decade and was awarded the 5th Remax team worldwide in his last year. So thank you, Sam McDaddy, for the amazing sponsorship.
Woo.
And
Thank you.
I thank you so much for Hiba and Sephrah.
Thank you.
It was amazing.
Amazing
I
Thank
didn't
podcast.
realize I was
Susu.
not introduce myself. This is your host, Susube.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well,
At the end of the
oopsie.
episode,
Oopsie.
crazy.
If they
Oh.
wait, they wait.
If
They,
you-
they'll
yeah.
listen, you know?
If
Like,
you're serious, you would
see.
wait.
If you're serious,
Yeah.
you'll
would
be
wait.
waiting.
If you
until
watch
that.
this full episode, we love
Yeah,
you.
we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, finish your
And-
heart, man.
Yeah,
Anyways,
thank
sorry.
you so much and happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month. Bye.
Bye.